Hello, guys and gals, me, Mutahar, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast with my good co-host and brothers and friends, Oompaville and Nux Taku. But we added a new brother to the mix as always, and this is CinnamonToastKen.
Hello.
That's the Scientology intro, in case you were wondering.
Yeah,
It really is.
to the fold. You're part of the fold now, man.
Opening the litigation early, it seems.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay.
Didn't know I was joining a cult, but I feel good about this. I feel welcome. This is good.
You
Yeah.
can't say it's a cult. It's a respectable
Don't call it a cult. We just don't pay taxes, and we have a lot of fun.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
Rule number one of the pyramid scheme: we don't call it a pyramid scheme.
Yeah. Where are you from, Ken?
I am from the deep south, from Mississippi.
Mississippi. Okay.
Mississippi.
God damn.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
So
awesome.
you traded one south for another south?
Yeah.
You
now
went
I'm
further south.
way south now. Yeah. Whenever I say I'm from Mississippi, there's two reactions I get. There's like the oh cool, and then the one that Nux hits something. God dang! All right.
I'm sorry. I just
Man.
feel like that's the most common words there.
Didn't know
yeah,
you
it's
had
like-
internet down there.
Yeah. Well, that was a struggle. Honestly, there's a whole story to
Dude.
that.
Oh yeah, I bet, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be real. The Australian internet is wild, man. Like when I was down there a few years ago in Melbourne, it was like barely accessible. I was
Yeah.
like trying to play one game online, dude. I had to go to a network cafe, like one of those like gaming cafes, just to like play a little bit.
Yeah, that's where you could get your Raid Shadow Legends fix.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
Yeah,
right?
thank you.
Yeah, it's internet. Yeah, when I first started YouTube, back in the day, I literally had to go to like Starbucks and stuff to upload my videos because the Mississippi internet was
That-
pretty much non-existent.
That's what I did too. I did literally drive to McDonald's because I was I'm from Virginia, but like almost West Virginia, so it's like very, very, very just boonies. Nothing. There's nothing around. There's no
Yeah.
infrastructure. DSL, but it's like one up and one down sometimes, and if it rains, it just goes out.
Yeah, sorry, it's
Same-
raining.
Yeah, it rains a lot. So
I always like those first stories that you have when you're like starting out YouTube, like because nowadays it's like you all have like access to better internet, like better computers, so it's like, oh, those old problems never existed. But I remember the first time, for me, it wasn't the internet. For me, it was like the computer. Like I literally had like this, dude, I had an old laptop. Like we're talking 3 gigs of RAM. Like this processor was like, please fucking kill me. I'm rendering a video and I'm not supposed to be doing this. Dude, I had to stick it in front of a tower fan just to make sure the chip didn't burn out inside it.
that's awesome.
I know.
I had like a 5-year-old Mac on a folding desk with a plastic chair making videos.
Nice.
Yeah.
Green. It was-
Dude, that was a different time, man. Like back, it's interesting. Like when you think about those old stories, and now it's like, man, things really were a whole heck of a lot simpler back
Crazy.
then.
You
Even the
watch
content.
Ninja's masterclass on like how to be a streamer, and he's like, "Well, what you really need is like a $4,000 PC." It's like, okay, Ninja.
Yeah, right, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue hair.
And blue
That's
hair.
why that's why I take pride in my Costco gaming chair and my fucking cheap ass
blue
gaming
hair,
computer.
blue hair, and a braless wife. But
I love the
Ninja
What more do
tweets.
you need?
Ken, how long ago did you start YouTube?
Yeah,
You've been around for a while.
I think you're more veteran than all of us here.
Yeah, absolutely.
What 2000? Well, no, I didn't actually upload my first videos in 2011. So,
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a year off from me. Okay, so
Yeah, so
you're
not-
like a year younger than me. Yeah.
Yeah, so like not super old, but I mean in YouTube terms, I guess we're ancient, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first
We're
video was in
pretty ancient
2010 when I was like a
Yeah.
13-year-old boy. But little squeaker.
old. Wow.
I was a little squeaker. Everybody hated me too.
I'm so glad I was able to find the
Yeah, they did.
password.
Alien.
I'm so glad I was able to find the password to my very first YouTube channel and just private all those videos. I was like
yeah.
a full-on squeaker. Like there was one point where like years ago people found the channel. Like I used my actual name for it, like Mutahar. You could just search it up on like Google, YouTube, and it showed up. And I was like, fuck. I figured out the Google password to it because back then I just used like the same password for everything, and I jumped in. I'm like private.
You're getting those really old videos when you're a kid too, and you got like a lot of cancelable material on there, and you're like,
Yeah, I could go all the way back to
okay, I better
2012
hide all
and
that.
find
Jesus
shit
Christ.
canceled.
Yeah, holy.
Yeah.
It's a different era also. It's like child brain plus an era where things like that are accepted. Like that's a
Yep.
recipe for disaster.
Yeah, see? What do you
I
mean?
was
Don't
clean.
tell us that's a
I was
strategy
clean.
they've been doing forever. That's the ultimate social media strategy. Like you just go back to like 2015
Filter
and
search,
yeah.
Cinnamon Toast Ken, and then just start typing in cancelable words.
Yeah, you just type in CinnamonToastKen GTA 5 playthrough. Well, are you a fan of social media like TikTok? Do you enjoy yourself a good trend searching on the internet?
Well, I do now. For a while, I was that guy that's like, TikTok, bleh. Then my wife was like, just look at it. And I was like, wow, it's actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it's cool.
What are some of your favorite trends? Like just in the last week, I'm going to give you my favorite trend. What's your favorite?
Favorite trend? God. This is an old one, but like finding beans in random spots was pretty cool. But
that's so wholesome.
That is true.
I feel like
That is true, though. Where's the lie? Where's the lie, though?
I guess I don't know about trends, but my favorite like recent TikTok that I saw was like the GTA one where he's like with the prostitute and like kicks her at the car and she goes flying off the cliff. Yeah. I like that.
That's the Andrew Tate.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's part of the Andrew Tate trend. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that on a Tate channel. But my favorite trend is the Kia challenge. Do you know what the Kia challenge is?
I don't know what the Kia challenge is.
So, okay, the Kia challenge is, prepare for this one. So on TikTok, there's been a few enterprising young entrepreneurs that have found out to start their new carjacking trend. All you need is one USB cable and a Kia that's older than a Kia from 2021, and you can just hijack and hotwire one within seconds. Wow. It's so bad. It's so bad that
I like the cartel executions.
Oh my dude, that's what I've been getting on my TikTok because that's all I've been following. Now that's all I get recommended. But yeah, there's the Kia stealing challenge, and it's so bad that kids as young as 12 years old, 13, have been caught doing this for a little bit of social media attention. Yeah,
that's insane, dude.
Well, it's like the dumbest criminal, like the old shows and stuff, where like they would like go rob the bank and then like put it on their Facebook with the money. It's kind of like the same thing. It's like, look at me steal this car. It's like,
exactly.
All right, dude.
Watch me pop this die pack in my hand.
Yeah. Watch this, bro.
Hey guys, check this firearm we're using. This is a serial number on it. Trace that.
Right.
No, but
real cool, bro.
But that's like, it's so wild how many like criminal things are totally okay. Like for me, I like my TikTok recommendeds are so different because I'm out there purposefully looking for like, you know, cartel executions, misinformation, and like, you know, well,
he's on the dark side of everything.
Oh yeah, my TikTok thing is ruined. Like if the FBI looked through my phone and they opened up the TikTok app, they would I would absolutely be looking at some like I'd be on a watch list. Is all I'm saying. Like that's all I get on TikTok because it's so
already on a watch list.
Well,
Are you kidding?
Probably,
You're definitely on watch list already.
I mean, that's why I get searched so much in the airport, dude. It's so fun. Right?
How many episodes of search in the deep web do you have? The dark web?
I have a lot, but some of them are really okay. So there's only been like 2 episodes of those where I actually got in touch with the FBI on.
Only 2? You know how many times I've been in touch with the FBI?
How many?
0, bro. Because I'm normal.
No, but like, okay, sometimes you do come across some like criminal shit. Like I came across like a literal an evil organization YouTube. Okay, that's what I came across. All right, they were on the wrong side of Sesame Street, and like it was like literal like video footage. So I'm like, oh, this is like too real. Like usually when I find like really fucked up videos on the internet, I like go through the whole list of like checking them through like Live Leak and all like, you know, the fucked up websites. And if I can't find it, I'm like, oh, I think I stumbled upon something new. Maybe I should like report this to like the IC3 or something. And I usually do, and it, you know, it tends to be like something new. But, you know, there's only been 2 times that's ever happened. Everything else is so dumb on the deep web, dude. It's like people sharing like cookie recipes. Like literally there was like a South Korean like bakery that was on there once, and they got in touch with me afterwards. They're like, oh wow. I was like, okay.
Like a recipe? Thanks, man.
No, it was literally a cookie recipe. Is funny.
I feel like you know how China has like their social credit score system thing? I feel like the modern day equivalent in the US is looking at your TikTok For You page.
Yeah.
Seeing like,
wow.
Like, are there just dancing women? That's cool.
No.
You know?
Just look at your
cartel executions.
Just look at your Twitter. Just look at your Twitter shit, dude. Twitter's enough. Like, just look at your recent tweets and whatever you like. Twitter algorithms up too. But then again, Twitter is just a cesspool of a social media site. What do you think of Twitter, Ken? Is it something you enjoy tapping on your phone every once in a while?
I find myself like going there when I'm just like on my phone. I'm like, oh, it's on Twitter, and then I'm never satisfied. I'm like, why am I looking at this? Like, I don't care if you're live. I don't care. Then I closed it, and 5 minutes later, I'm like, okay, let me look at my Twitter again. I'm like, oh no, I'm in the loop.
It's like the feedback loop.
For me, on Twitter, one of the saddest things I've ever seen was people giving you hate for a tweet where you said like, "I just had a kid."
Oh,
how do you hate somebody for that tweet?
Like, giving you hate for it, saying not everyone wants children.
Yeah, it's always people want to give you like the unsolicited advice or their opinions. They insert themselves into whatever the situation you're talking about. Like, oh, I just have a new kid. They're like, oh my god, I would never have kids. Shut the fuck up. All right.
Like I could not believe it when I saw that. I was just like, oh my god, this is unbelievable.
How could Ken be so irresponsible, bringing a child into this evil, disgusting world?
You're about to have your fourth. Oh my god.
Oh, but that's.
By the way, congratulations.
Yeah, for real.
Thank you. Yeah. I think I figured out how it works now. I think I'm catching on.
You figured out the kid strat.
Yeah, I think I know where kids come from now. I think I've discovered what the problem is.
First time you were a little confused. Second, third time,
it's like, how does this keep happening?
Fourth time, you're like, I'm an expert now.
I'm really good
now
at
I
this.
know why you need the balloons. Okay. Oh, that's good to hear though. It's like that's the thing about Twitter. It's like fucking when I saw like Ken getting shit for it, I'm like, dude, nobody's safe on this application. Like Jesus Christ. Like there are cooking channels that could get canceled. Like literally, like cooking channels getting on the internet because they did something wrong. It's like, dude, how does a cooking channel get shit? Like, what do they stir the pot wrong? Like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, it's more of a physical thing. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Like, what did you do? No. This is why I'm glad like PewDiePie left the application. He's just like, fuck that.
Dude, poor guy gets lambasted on Twitter all the time. I feel so bad. Well, he knows it's going on.
Well, it's weird because lately I remember the last time I heard about it was because like this one deaf chick on TikTok, and I was like, oh, like I watched the whole thing, and I'm like, oh, that's it? That's the nuance? I'm like, shit. I'm like, that was nothing.
Yeah, they didn't apologize for it, and people in his comments like, yeah, you shouldn't apologize for that, and he was like, I mean.
Well, then he left like a pinned comment, you know, like.
Oh yeah, he did a pinned comment about like I didn't know. Yeah.
Comment saying I didn't mean to offend anyone. Honest mistake, my bad. And people were like, so he's now addressing it like he could just throw it under the rug. And so like,
it's like, what do you want? Do you want me to like get whipped or something on like national TV? Like, what the fuck do you want me to do?
I think they do, honestly. Yeah. I think that's what people want. They want like they want it to be like something public. I feel like that's just what it seems like. People are so insane and they're so ravenous when it comes to cancellations really and like wanting to get people to pay for their sins and crimes. It's just so stupid. It doesn't make any sense to me.
For me, it's like I feel like most of the people on social media that are like that have not like ever done anything. They just like to drag people to like the lowest end that they can. It's like my life is shit, therefore your life must also be shit. And there's like this weird holier than thou mentality. Like, don't get me wrong, all right? Like that's why I very much own the whole like moniker. I'm like, listen, if I did an asshole-ish thing, well, congratulations. I'm kind of like that too. I'm not going to pretend to be different. You know, I'm not going to pretend to be like that nice person. All right, if I, you know, like. I remember like this one guy gave me shit for fucking advocating that like the pink sauce lady. I was like, man, maybe she should be like busted for shipping cancerous goo across state lines. And they're like, you just want to stop an enterprising person. I'm like, no. There's a little bit of a difference, okay? That's pink goo shipped across. All right, it can cause some problems.
There's someone pro pink sauce that gave you a hard time.
Oh, dude, there's so many people pro pink sauce. They brought so, dude. Do you understand? Like the DMs turned into like this race battle. It's like you just want to like step on somebody who's like trying to make it out. I'm like, no, this isn't a race thing. This isn't even like I'm shitting on a small business owner. You're literally shipping pink.
She is poisoning the Gotham City water supply. Okay.
Like I sat there, I'm like, wait, I wish it was that easy to like ship literal poison across state lines. Like apparently it is. Like she's not getting arrested or busted. I mean, she's not even getting sued, so whatever. But at that point, like in the comments, I'm just like, listen, we're gonna have to agree to disagree, okay? This is clearly not legal, so I'm just gonna make my stance there, okay? If you want to argue on that, it's absolutely great. Like Jesus. I don't know. It's insane. Like I get shit for even like road raging. Like I have my road rage tweets and people are like, "Oh, you just like drive the speed limit. You're boring." I'm like, "No, dude. I just don't fucking cause that. Like, I don't know. You can't win on the internet, dude. The older I get, the more I realize you can't win. Like, internet, dude.
Yeah, there will always be people trying to tear you down, and it's really sad because they're jealous of your success. I think that's really like where it stems from. And PewDiePie succeeded big time, so you know people like attacking. I feel bad for the guy, honestly.
I do. I do in that capacity. So, Ken, what have you been up to recently? What's like one of the big projects for you coming up?
Big projects? God, there's never any big projects anymore. I'm done with projects.
Child number 5.
No child number 5.
yeah.
Are you thinking of family channel stuff? Thinking of transitioning to that?
That's the slippery slope of family vlogging, right? Where your life becomes content, and oh god,
yeah, true.
It's always family.
Yo, you can have your kids reacting to 700-pound
like,
women.
Cry for my thumbnail, kid. You know, you start getting to that stuff. Ugh.
I love that. Okay, I don't mean I love it because what she was doing to the kid. Don't clip that out of context. But you remember that one girl who was just like, "Okay, you gotta make that face for the thumbnail, cry a little bit."
My dog was hit by a car. No, just make
Great
the face.
mother.
Make the face.
I was like,
Great
no.
mother.
Natural
born mother.
That's literally most family content. Like, no joke. Like, you're absolutely right. Like,
Yeah.
you do get into that slippery
The
fucking
prince
slope.
family, the king family, the queen family, the royal family, the Habsburg family.
Well, I remember it was like Caleb. I think you showed me it, but it was the most wildest thing. It was like the period prank stuff, and like I didn't even believe it because like I didn't even believe this was a thing because like I thought somebody photoshopped something on YouTube, right?
It's insane.
And nowadays, like I'm like, oh, I believe it all. Yeah.
And did you see that?
Yeah. Did you ever see the period
Family
pranks?
Channel period pranks?
I read something. I remember hearing period pranks, but I don't know what they are.
They would fake periods. So like basically the mom would like fake the period and the dad would walk in and he'd be like, "What's this?" You know, like being totally oblivious to the fact periods are a thing. Now,
oh my god.
Yeah, right? Like,
what the hell? We need to go to a doctor now!
You're bleeding!
Yeah, exactly.
It just got worse.
You've been punctured!
Pranks.
Yeah, right? Like fucking in some cases like
the thumbnail is just a lady crying over like a toilet bowl full of blood.
Yeah, but in some cases, Nux, it's so stupid because like the kid would be like 6, and like the dad walks in, and I'm like, no, actually, the surprise reaction makes a lot of sense. Dad understands basic biology. This shouldn't have happened this quick. But yeah, that was like the prank channels, and like, no, well, actually, wait, no, they're the prank channels because they would title their videos like that too. It's like period prank. It's like gone wrong. You know, it's like
they're family channels. I think.
Yeah, well, they're family, right? Like,
yeah, right. Really happy families.
Well, like some of them would be like, some of them are like super religious-y types too, or like I remember there was like this one family, I think it was like the LeBrant one or whatever, and they had like this abortion documentary or some shit like that.
Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, they threw up some abortion documentary and then they like turned off the comments and then they got a shit. They just deleted it. I'm like, that's really wholesome. Like out of nowhere, you're uploading like fucking, you know, like you're just uploading a regular video, and then you get to this like really dark, like you get to this dark PSA upload, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, Christ.
I have a question for you, Ken. Is Buff Pro still in? Was he from Mississippi as well? Did he move to? Yeah. He's still there, and you guys?
No, he moved. Him and his wife, they moved up somewhere further north. I forget where they went.
Okay.
But yeah, now he got out. He escaped.
Cool.
Since you live in like Florida, the underworld Florida, have you ever had any crazy Australian stories?
No. Well.
He's like, no. Well, hold on.
You're lucky you didn't get married there. There's an Australian custom that you have to wrestle a crocodile under the altar.
That's not fucking true. No
woman
way.
Has to marry the crocodile.
No way. That's not true.
No, that's not true.
It's like, wait, hold on a minute.
No, unfortunately, I haven't seen like nothing crazy. No, like freaking sharks or kangaroos attacking anyone or crocodiles. Like we've been living like the city, so like I rarely see any of the animals anyway. So. Yeah,
but you got there for COVID too, right?
Yeah.
I think lockdown was really, really intense there. I think.
It was. Yeah. We had to stay in like a hotel for 2 weeks. Before they let us out, and then we had to stay in our house for another month. Yeah.
Have you eaten a kangaroo?
Yeah, some kangaroo jerky. It's pretty good.
God, he actually ate it. That was the first thing I did when I got off the flight to Melbourne. I was like, I'm gonna find me a restaurant. I'm gonna eat me a kangaroo.
We eat some kangaroo. Yeah.
Eat kangaroo, bud.
Dude, I literally was like that one scene from like Narcos, you know, in like in the newest season, like the dude gets out of prison or whatever, and he just like looks around. I got out of the airport tonight, and I just look around. I'm like, let me find some kangaroo. Let me get that fucking roo tonight. Like I need to try this. Like I got to do something Australian before I check in the hotel, and it was completely worth it, 1,000%.
Heck yeah, like eating that kangaroo.
What did it taste like? Is it like chicken?
What does
it taste like?
Yeah, it's kind of like venison-ish almost.
Yeah, it's like a red meat.
Yeah.
It's like deer.
Yeah.
Venison.
Yeah.
All right. So
I remember mine being like very tough.
I wasn't gonna go to the zoo and look at a kangaroo. I was gonna put that shit in my belly, dude. I had a totally different mind.
You know they hunt cats in Australia. Did you guys know that they hunt like house cats down there?
I didn't know this.
Yeah, it's like a common thing to hunt. I think they're called field cats or something like that. But they just breed and they're invasive. And there's like an actual bow season where people use archery and they shoot cats because it's like.
Are you sure it's not like ocelots or something?
No, it's like little house cats.
I know
Yeah,
there's a lot of invasive species in Australia. Like there's a type of toad called the cane toad.
Oh, that's here, brother. That's here too, man. They're invasive here.
Yeah, but in Australia, like they're killing all of the rodent life because they're eating all the rats and stuff.
There's also rat problems there. I think they had a rat problem. They got cats to kill the rats, and then the cats started killing all the birds. And then the birds wouldn't kill the toads, and then it's like a crazy cycle. People are really bad at introducing species to help with conservation. It seems like, especially on islands.
It seems like from every single point.
What did you expect out of a prison colony that had so many prisoners? They formed their own government.
That's true.
That's what I love about the history of Australia. Like, you know how every country has like this crazy like explanation as to like, hey,
except for Canada.
Well, no, yeah. Well, we're not technically a country. We're still part of the Queen's Dominion, so you know.
So is Australia.
Well,
Dominion.
Australia's thing is cool because it's like, we just sent like it's literally like the ADX Florence of back then. Like it's like a supermax prison for back then, just like throw people onto the island. But you throw so many people, they form their own fucking government.
Everyone in Australia starts chanting Better Call Saul.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm so glad I finished that show. I don't want to like spoil it though. Ken, are you a fan of the Better Call Saul stuff?
I never did start it. I watched through Breaking Bad, but I never did start Better Call Saul.
Yeah, dude, that's where I'm at too.
You're gonna.
Everybody keeps talking about it. Everybody keeps talking about it.
I'll give you a barometer, Caleb. If I'm talking about a TV show, it's worth watching because I was like the one guy that like when I first heard about Breaking Bad, I didn't watch it because I could never like tolerate Walter White. I was like, dude, I can't look at this guy as a meth manufacturer. He's the guy from Malcolm in the Middle. And now I love Breaking Bad so much that I'm like, no, he didn't die at the end. This is the prequel to Malcolm in the Middle now. He became good.
He became good.
Yeah.
Finally got his family.
Yeah, I was just like, I didn't watch it because I was like, oh, this is the guy from Malcolm in the Middle. I don't see him being a bad guy. And then one day on Netflix, I was like, I see the show. Let's try watching it. I'm like, oh, this is good, dude. Like
it's like
2-3 episodes in, I'm like,
the first thing
shit.
I've seen from Better Call Saul, like a while back, someone showed me the clip of him saying something along the lines of, did you know that you have rights? Well, America says you do, and so do I. And I'm like, what the hell is this? What do I watch?
Wow, amazing.
Thank you so much.
Average American legal system.
Did you guys know Saul Goodman is a secret way to say it's all good, man? Get it?
Oh, dude, no way.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Bro, you literally
canonically speaking, he says that he took the name Saul Goodman because it sounds Jewish, so he could be chummy with all the Jewish lawyers.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty epic.
I think he said that in Breaking Bad, didn't he?
Yeah, he mentioned it. It's like he wanted to be a pipe-hitting member of the tribe. I just watched the show again. It's literally the quote of it. No, like when when you just said it the way you did, Caleb, you reminded me of just like Reddit in general. Like when Reddit analyzes a TV show, it's like some guy looking.
Did you see that Reddit thing that was going on the like Batman Arkham Knight thing? Like they made believe there was an open world Batman game released, and they were all writing reviews for this game that doesn't exist for like the last week. Did you see that?
No, what?
Oh my god, I have to find that. That's
my
hilarious. They're making believe that this game exists, and they keep talking about it like, oh, I was really surprised when the main villain wasn't the Joker. It was, in fact, Killer Moth. You know, like, they would go with, like twists that happen in this open world game that doesn't exist.
I can't believe Vin Diesel showed up at the end of Arkham Knight and drove Batman out of Gotham.
That was wacky.
That is my favorite movie series. Like people people think that I joke about it, but I really don't. Like Fast and the Furious is always going to be like the most thrilling movie series in my opinion. Like it's so batshit insane. I remember when like the only reason I watch is out of spite from like a cousin of mine who like just couldn't stop being logical about movies. Like, there's no way the street race would have made any sense.
Oh,
there's
yes,
no way.
I know
I'm
exactly what you mean. My brother does the same thing. It's so annoying.
I'm like, you know what? F you. Now I'm gonna believe that Vin Diesel drove the car. Actually, I'm gonna believe he lifted the supercar with his own two fucking biceps. Now it actually makes more sense because Vin Diesel's just that badass. That's what I just do to my cousin. I'm like, yeah, f you. All right, if you're gonna ruin my, when I go to buy a ticket to watch Fast and the Furious. I'm not going in there for analyzing the movie. I'm going in there because I bought a ticket to a really dumb movie, okay? Like, there's people who tell me, it's like, a car wouldn't have gone to space. I'm like, trust me. I know. Oh, I know.
Whoa, really?
Well, you clearly haven't seen Moonfall.
Dude, that was my favorite moment, dude. My dad was watching that on Amazon Prime. Like, I went over to their house just to, like, fucking drop off some shit. And I didn't even know it was Moonfall. I just saw the fucking Lexus. And I was just like, I stopped for a minute. I had that Leonardo DiCaprio moment. I'm like, wait a minute. That's Moonfall. And then my dad's like, yeah, this movie is really stupid. I'm like, I know. I know it's dumb. It's an entire Lexus ad. But, I don't know. I'm a fan of the dumb movies. Like, I can't watch, like, a good movie anymore. I just have to watch dumb shit. Like, my favorite shit is watching found footage movies, like, really dumb ones. So that's my, like
VHS?
Pleasure. VHS is not a bad found footage movie.
I feel like it's a great found footage movie.
Great.
Have you ever seen it, Ken?
Which one?
Yeah, VHS. Are you into horror at all? Horror movies?
Now that you guys are asking me these questions, I'm realizing how boring I am. Okay. So no, tell me all about it.
Oh, okay.
Dude, you should watch it. I don't think it's on Netflix. Do not watch it when your kids are there. For sure not.
Oh wait, the VHS. Oh no, yeah. I think I have seen. They have like 3, 4 of them or something.
Oh, dude, they got the new one, the fourth one, 94. It's got they're like anthology movies. You've obviously seen them. The new one is so wild. Like Caleb, you seen 94, the newest one?
Yes.
Oh, dude, that like the sewer scene. Oh my
god, bro.
The TV broadcast one where they're like in the new. I'm like, oh, this movie's wild.
The first one fucking freaked me out.
Yeah.
So the second one, I don't remember which one has the aliens. That also freaked me out, though.
Okay, I haven't seen this. Yeah, it's like the little 3 short stories or whatever it is in the movie kind of thing. Yeah.
I'm just a huge fan of the found footage stuff, man. Like, they can be the dumbest movies ever, but I'll just watch them because it's like, I don't know. You just can't be like, I don't know. When it comes to horror, like when I was a younger kid, like the scariest movie that I've ever seen in my life was The Ring. Like you watch, everyone here has watched The Ring, right? Now, back in the day, I thought it was so smart that because I thought because we watched the cursed tape that Samara was going to come out of the computer monitor in my room. So what I did was I flipped that shit to the wall. So if that fucking dumb bitch jumped out, immediately brain damage. I was like, hell yeah, let's go.
That's pretty funny, bro. I didn't think it was scary. I never thought it was scary because at first I saw Scary Movie 3 before I saw The Ring.
Oh, okay.
So I had it ruined badly.
Softened it up for you.
Yeah, it softened the blow for sure.
I used to be scared of Child's Play, dude. I thought Chucky was actually real. I was like,
same.
God damn.
Dude, yeah, I was too, yeah.
I was like, dude, this guy's running around like this little tiny character just stabbing people.
Do you think you guys could take him? Do you think you could take Chucky?
Dude, hell no. Have you seen a fucking Toughies? He just jumps onto everyone.
I could beat the shit out of Chucky. I still believe I could beat the fuck out of Chucky.
Yeah, you think you could beat the shit out of Chucky, and then he grabs you and like, okay. No, that one scene where like the dude's driving and he cuts the brake line on him. I'm like, when I rewatch that again, I'm like, dude, all right, Chucky's got to have like super strength or something because your dumbass couldn't just grab the doll and throw it out the window. Like,
if he has the physiology of a doll, I'm taking him. But if it's like some kind of 4,000-year-old Mesopotamian demon,
bro, it's
within the confines of a small plastic doll that somehow has like adamantium bones or something crazy like that. I maybe not, but I definitely feel like I could take a doll.
What's the one horror movie you think you could survive in? Okay, what's the one movie in general you think you could do it? I think Terminator 2, personally.
Jurassic Park.
Terminator 2.
You can't survive Jurassic Park.
Dude, I've been reliving Jurassic Park in my head every night. Dreams, hell dreams.
Is there like a dinosaur problem?
Bro, I have a dinosaur phobia.
Get out.
Really?
Yeah, I have a huge dinosaur phobia.
They're extinct, brother. Feel better. There's a whole meteor that took care of them.
That's what people keep saying, but dude, I don't fucking. I'm not gonna set it past them. I'm staying prepped.
Do you believe Michele Membe, that like dinosaur conspiracy?
No.
Okay, I kind of do though. Like I kind of believe some of that shit. There's a lot of
weird
weird
stuff.
What do you
in the
believe?
world.
I believe in shit like Loch Ness Monster, Michele Membe, Bigfoot. I believe in all that. No joke. 100%. I believe in all that. Like I believe like there's probably like some species out there that we've never discovered.
Do you believe in it because like it adds spice to the world, or like do you believe in it because?
Well, I don't want to fucking.
Do you think the moon is made of cheese?
I don't fucking want to go camping and it'd be boring, you know? Like, oh, you're gonna go out and pitch a tent and fucking sit there and roast marshmallows? If Bigfoot's a thing, I want to fucking come across it, you know? Like, granted,
I want to be clinching, bro.
Yeah, like, listen, if Bigfoot came up to me, like, I'm going to be honest, there's a 99% chance I'm dying, okay? Like, that thing is killing me. But at least I saw it. Like, at least my camping adventure was exciting, you know? It's like people ask me, what's the one animal you want to die to? And I keep saying bear. Because at least bears are cute, you know? Like, shit. If you're getting mauled by a bear, aren't you going to be like, oh, wow, this is the cutest animal in the world? Completely.
Nothing at all.
Well, you're only going to think half of that sentence because the bear will kill you by that point. But hey, it happens.
They smell terrible and they're not that cute up close.
Oh, they're pretty fucking cute. Come on now.
Not really. I've never seen one that's that cute.
I was in New Hampshire once, and like I go to a restaurant, and this dude comes out with like 2 bags of garbage from the restaurant to throw into the dumpster behind, and there's 2 black bears in the dumpster. And he just like he puts the bags down, and he goes back, and he comes out with a little stick. He starts hitting the dumpster. Get out of here. The 2 bears just run away. Yeah.
That's why you keep a shotgun with you.
Dude, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is we used to have like terrible bear problems where I lived a little over a year ago in Virginia, and like every night a bear would try to like push on my door, push on my windows, steal trash.
You have bears pushing on your doors, and you're scared of dinosaurs.
Dude, yeah. Terrified of dinosaurs. But I would take my bow. I have a compound bow. I used to shoot like archery competitively, and I would take a tennis ball and I would pack it full of tape. And then I'll put it on my arrow, and then just shoot the bear with the tennis ball arrow, just to get him to leave. And like, one of them is not afraid at all. Well, one of them was not afraid at all, and I used to shoot him with all sorts of stuff. I would never like shoot him with a real gun or whatever, anything like that. I would throw the one thing that made him run away. I threw a potato at him, and that he didn't like the potato.
Nice.
That's the kryptonite for the bear.
Yeah, bear kryptonite is a potato.
I feel like you were just pissing them off to the point where they were going back home and plotting when to take you, and you're lucky you moved out of there quick.
Ken, are you afraid of dinosaurs?
No, but I am afraid of sharks, like very much so. I can't watch shark movies, play video games. The shark attacks me, freaks me out. Yep.
I agree with that though, because like I think there's something about the ocean in general.
Have you had like like some kind of experience on a boat or something like that, or are you just damn afraid of fucking sharks?
I was thinking about it. Like I was like, why am I afraid of sharks? And I remember like when I was a kid, I asked my mom, I was like, Mom, what are you afraid of? And she was like, sharks are pretty scary. And like that was like, I guess what
that
did
was
it.
Enough.
As a child, I was
just
like,
set it off.
My mom is
like
afraid of these.
My invincible parent. Is scared of sharks.
That's awesome.
Why are you guys scared of ghosts and shit? Are you? Are you actually? Is that spook you?
It's like
I was thinking about
sorry,
that.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying no. Go ahead. I'll follow up with something actually.
I was thinking about like playing like horror video games and stuff like that, or even like watching movies. Like in the moment, like it's not that scary, but like afterwards when you're like by yourself and you're kind of like
exactly. Oh, I hate that so much, dude.
I have a weird thing about ghost stuff. So like when I play a horror game, like you guys remember that PT horror game, like way back?
Yeah.
So I actually can't play that game. Like I literally am too scared shitless to play a game like that. And I know in my mind, well, like, so I have this weird thing in my head, right? Like I know that it's a computer screen, right? Like it's not gonna be Samara jumping out of the computer screen, ripping my brains out. But there's something weird about playing a video game and like being hunted by something in it, and like, because I just can't do it. I can't play a game like that. Like I can't play shit like Slender, where like there's a persistent enemy that just keeps hunting you down.
Really?
Because there's a severe level of anxiety that I have where like it's so crippling that I just can't play the game, right? Like it's like when I play these games for YouTube, like on the chance that I do, every time, like I'm always looking at like the OBS monitor because it's smaller, and so I'm looking at the game through that because I'm like I have it. Like I literally like as I'm playing the game, I'm looking at it on the side through like
awesome.
Yeah.
Like Alien Isolation, Outlast, shit like that.
I can't like, dude. Outlast was so fucked. Like the only way that I did it was like cause here's the thing, that there's something about those games that drives me insane when you can't fight back. You know, like they don't give you the ability. Yeah, it's always running away. Like if I play Resident Evil, I don't have anxiety because I have a pistol in my hand and it's like, all right, whatever comes at me, put it down. But if I'm playing Outlast or any of those games where my combat is so limited, I'm like looking at the side on the monitor. So when I was playing PT, I was like literally looking at like the Elgato screen. I had like 25% size, like barely. I was looking at like a thumbnail size of the game, and I'm like, oh,
you have like the volume on your headset. You like turned it down so you can listen to those too.
That's why I bought these headsets, because like, so when I used to have my old headsets, right, for OBS, you had to have like, if anybody wanted to hear it on stream or gameplay, I had to like up the volume to 100%. So I bought these headphones specifically. I found them out just so I can use the mixer to turn it down to like 5%.
Yeah.
So everyone in the game can hear it. I'm like, oh, I don't hear any creepy shit. Cool. Yeah.
That's kind of scary.
I would make fun of you, but I'm like deathly afraid of Twitter, so I don't blame you. Okay.
But the whole thing is so wild. So like, if in reality, like in the real world, like if I go to like really spooky places, I don't get scared. Like I legitimately don't. Like if you take me to like an abandoned place, like, and you just leave me there alone, I just don't get scared. I don't actually think like ghosts exist in that regard. The only scary moment I get is I'm like, oh, maybe I might get like a crackhead hunting me down. That's the only thing that's scary, you know?
Oh, Bigfoot might show up. You better be careful. He may be in there.
I hope Bigfoot shows up. Like, dude, listen, like I know Bigfoot's not real, but like it should show up. You know, like any of those like weird
Come on, show yourself, Bigfoot.
Yeah, like dude,
being scared.
Yeah, like, listen, all right, the only photo we have of it...
Come on the podcast, or L.
Well, it's like, dude, the Loch Ness Monster, like, okay, I went out fishing so many times with family, and it's all just, we're guzzling beer and, like, you know, doing nothing. Man, why can't the Loch Ness Monster show up? Why can't Nessie show up? Why can't the day be exciting, you know? Like, shit,
True.
We're driving 2 hours to go fish, and now I'm not even getting anything exciting out of it,
You're
you
preaching.
know?
Preaching to the choir. We all know. We all agree completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ken, to circle back, you're not afraid of dinosaurs. Is it just me? For real?
I think it's just you.
I think we need to fly you out to Mexico and show you the crater so we can prove to you that they're all
Yucatan
gone.
Peninsula.
Yeah, they're all gone. No.
Did you ever, as a kid, did you ever go to like the like those? I guess they would have them at zoos and things. Like they'd have the dinosaur exhibit and they have like the big mechanical T-Rexes and stuff.
Oh
there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's this thing near where I used to live called Dinosaur Land. My parents used to take me all the time for some reason, and I used to hate it.
They do that?
I don't know, dude. And for like,
stop crying.
For years of my life, when we would drive by, there was a big T-Rex out front of it. I would like.
Oh, you gotta hide from him, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's terrifying.
Well, it's like, so if Jurassic Park were to actually exist, and your parents were like, let's just fly out there every once in a while, you know, like every year, let's just take Caleb out to old Jurassic Park and see the real things.
Oh, I would go for sure, but I would have to be like Chris Pratt. I'd be armed.
What?
Yeah, and I'd be ready.
Okay, what arm would you need to fight a T-Rex?
A bow and arrow with some golf balls.
I feel like just seriously though, Matt. You know what's even scarier than dinosaurs? Dragons.
What?
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not. That's why
dragons are scary.
That's why when I went to the zoo, there was a thing, the Komodo dragon exhibit. I deliberately never went there because I thought that thing breathed fire. I literally did. I thought like that thing was going to look at me and like toast me.
Komodo dragons are scary. Okay, dragons not so much. Komodo dragons are terrifying. You know they hunt people. Like if they bite you, their saliva is so
toxic.
It's not toxic.
It's got bacteria in it.
It's so full of bacteria, you will die of
it. Is toxic. It's like the definition of toxic.
Okay, sure. It's not venomous.
Right.
Sorry. Okay, whatever. Anyway, the point is, you'll die from the and it'll hunt you down, and it will chase you. And they're like 11 feet long too. Those guys are scary.
I don't know the bacteria thing. The whole breathing fire was enough for me to shit myself. Okay. Now the bacteria stuff is more. That's why I always found like people who did like snake hunting and like all those things. Like, you know, when they go out into the wild and it's like they get bitten by those things, and I'm like,
do snake hunting.
You did?
Yeah,
no way.
Likes that stuff.
I don't think it's weird that you're scared of dinosaurs, though. They're pretty scary. If they were like still alive, they'd be very scary. Yeah. I mean, well, of course they were real. Right?
Yeah,
they were real.
Yeah. I mean, right?
What do you mean, bro? Isn't the world only like 6,000 years
Bro,
old.
Only
I
10,000 years old. Jesus said so.
Listen, I just pumped a dinosaur into my car the other day, so I mean, I'm feeling good right now, dude. Shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
bud.
expensive one.
Yep.
Yeah, dinosaur corpses are getting expensive these days.
Now, how about this? How about this for an idea? How come the T-Rex's arms are so short?
Yeah, actually, I don't know why. That's like that's the biggest
I don't know
evolution.
either.
That's a serious
poor guy.
evolutionary f you, by the way.
Yeah.
Two possibilities. One, the scientists got it wrong. Two, its penis was very long.
Very, yeah,
That's
very.
true.
Bigger
been.
hands.
Definitely, I think the scientists, maybe both.
Yeah, but like, were they really real though? Like, don't you think the government just planted the bones in the ground for the dinosaurs?
True.
I don't know,
Did you ever-
guy bathed in red light late at night.
This is
Why don't you
the,
elaborate more on that?
This is the
what is it?
demeanor of a man that goes on Facebook in the conspiracy section. So hey, it fits all.
Do you guys ever see the skull of like the hippo and then like the artist rendition of what it would look like, and then it's just like
Yes.
the hippo, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of probably the
Yeah.
same thing with dinosaurs.
Yeah, they have no idea what they actually look like. They artists did renditions of like hippos, cows, like chickens, all sorts of stuff. And it looks nothing like cows, chickens, hippos. It looks like
Oh, we don't know what the
crazy ass
dinosaurs look
dinosaurs.
like?
Is what it looks like.
Right? You have no idea. We don't really know.
Yeah, we have no idea.
At all.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of the dinosaurs like that they have like in museums, they found like one bone,
Mhm.
and then they'll create the rest of the skeleton based off that one bone.
Yeah.
It's like, well, the rest of the skeleton must look like this. Well,
Look up,
of course, you know that.
look up like a pug
Oh my
skull.
god, what the fuck?
Look at what a
I think
pug skull looks
Oh,
like.
geez.
That's like it looks like a monkey,
what the
some kind of little ape.
fuck? Yeah, that literally looks.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
No, I shouldn't laugh.
Look,
An alien, Jesus Christ.
Are you showing us his skull, Caleb?
Yeah, look.
Yeah,
Look at
just
that.
off the skull alone, it'd be like.
And it looks so
fucking-
cute.
Wow.
And then imagine if if one of them dinosaur artists did a rendition of it.
No. Oh, toddler skull?
What a beast. You guys ever look up a toddler skull? See all the teeth?
What the fuck?
Toddler skull?
Yeah, Google that and like see the images that pop up. It's just look at the teeth.
Holy
Oh man,
shit! What?
this is gonna fuck with me the rest of the night.
What
Thanks,
the
Ken.
fuck?
Jesus.
Get them out of my head.
Oh, that
my
is so
lord.
wild. Testicles.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
All right.
Have you seen the testicles with
Ugh.
teeth? Have you seen those? Those are
No. I'm not looking that one up.
Look up big, long,
No,
hairy
it's
dick with teeth.
because it is possible to grow a tumor in your testicles that the tumor grows teeth.
Oh yeah, I've seen
That's-
like the tumors that have teeth in them and stuff. That's always
Yeah,
freaking
teeth
weird.
like another little twin of yours that just kind of died off and is living in your balls.
How the fuck do you get teeth?
Yeah,
Like what?
a human
Yeah,
tumor.
that's the toddler skull is definitely it.
Yeah.
I want to see the artist rendition of that though. Like, what the flying fuck? The teeth are so fucked up.
Yeah, I don't think
There's
it's
just,
actually
like-
real though. I think because
Okay.
we've had like X-rays of our
It's a-
kids and they don't have like a crap load of teeth in their head or anything. That'd be weird if it was true, but yeah.
So that's like the Facebook toddler skull.
Yeah.
You're
And
telling me
you've
the old
only had
Facebook
4
groups.
kids so far.
Yeah.
So you don't really
That's
know.
true.
Until you have at least
Have
8
7
or
billion.
Yeah,
and
wait.
then
How
we'll
can
talk.
you tell us this? Yeah, I would feel like you'd be the kind of guy that like get that like you'd have asked the doctor. I'm like, hey, so I looked up a toddler skull the other day. Is that like kind of what is that?
Yeah.
Is that what it
Hey, Doc,
is?
I'm scared.
Yo, Doc, I'm looking at this X-ray here. Where's all his teeth at? I've seen the pictures on Google. What's going on here?
Yeah. How many kids?
That's what I
How
love
many kids
about,
do you
like-
plan on having?
Well, 3 were planned, and then the 4th one is like, oh, hooray!
Little surprise.
Well, originally we were planning
Yeah.
for 4 anyway, but then we got to 3 and we're like, I miss
That's
sleep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, man. More sleepless nights. What's wrong with my life? Why am I doing this to myself?
then at the end, you're like, how was it having kids? Like, oh, it's so rewarding and great. But then on the inside, you're like, oh.
You should be like my grandparents. You should be like my grandparents. Just 8. They're like,
Oh
let's
my
go.
gosh.
Hell yeah.
That's the best part about like Indian families. Like I asked like my grandparents, I'm like, so what made you have like 8? And they're like, it just felt like it. Felt like an average amount to have at the time.
About 8.
I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Then I'm like looking at it. Now I think about it. I'm like, damn, this guy was like my granddad was like Andrew Tate back in the day. He was just pumping out
Yeah.
kids. No
My
tomorrow.
mom has 7 brothers and
It's
sisters
not-
too.
Yeah, it's. I mean, like for some people, it's common. Like I guess back in like that's why we have a population crisis back home in Asia, as you can imagine. So maybe the whole like having multiple kids. Even like my mom, she has like 3 siblings, so it's four kids total, which isn't super out of it, but you know, that's like that was on the lowest end for back then. And now like my mom is like, how many kids do you plan on having? And I'm like, I don't know, Mom. I don't know.
Get back to you.
I like sleep.
No plans. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, even me and my
my
wife do the thing where we like judge other people too. Like it'll be like a mom just like, oh, my one kid, oh, it's so tough. And
Oh,
we're
that's
like,
awesome.
You're like, you're one
see.
kid.
Gatekeeping exhaustion.
Oh,
yeah,
That's awesome.
what's wrong with you?
it's like only
Only one? Ha! Weakness.
You're just like
Womp womp.
You're like rookie
My
numbers.
4
Rookie
children would
numbers.
beat up your one child.
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
You're like not even triplets. She's going off about one.
What's wrong with this person?
I wonder how scary that like news must be, like in general. Like when Octomom was told, "Hey,
Jesus
so
Christ.
about your one kid, it's at 1 plus a margin of 7." Like just add that into the mix.
Your body will never be the same
What
after
else?
this. Congratulations.
Dude, I remember when I saw photos of her. This is like way back in the day. I'm like, damn, there's like this is like Queen Bee like territory. Like when you look inside a fucking hive, it's like, oh, all the drones have come across this one big ass like bee. I'm like, all right, you took it on, girl. Let's go. And lo and behold, she had 8 kids. God bless her. But like, shit.
Jesus Christ.
No, but your gatekeeping exhaustion, that's pretty
Yeah,
fucked
yeah.
up, dude.
Yeah, yeah. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do about
I
it?
feel-
Complain?
Twitter's gonna have a field day. They're gonna be like, not only is he having kids, but he's gatekeeping.
That's right. Gonna
That,
start
yeah.
virtue signal in a minute. And be like, I'm such a great parent. Look at me go.
Yeah. I'm such a great parent that I was never tired. My child was so well mannered that he never woke up in the middle of the night.
Oh man.
My mom will still give me shit for that too. She's like, "Oh no, you were a great kid. You never woke me up in the middle. You never woke me up at 3 a.m. Me and your dad, nah." They always give us shit for it, and I'm like, "Listen, Ma, I didn't tell you to have me, okay? You willingly decided to go down that road." Yeah, literally, that's what I have to say. I'm like, well, listen, in my defense, I wasn't fucking asking. I wasn't even sentient to ask for this, okay? So when you fucking decided to go that route, you caused this. You brought this on yourself. Like that wasn't a me thing. So you can't blame me for that shit. But that's where I get into on that. It's different, man. Like fucking it's wild to see like some YouTubers like fucking peers of ours getting like older, starting families and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It is
we're gonna get
crazy.
to that point, all 3 of us here
Yep.
too.
Everyone lets me know how old I am all the time. Kid, you're getting old.
Yeah,
Thanks.
old,
I'm
though.
aware. Yeah. Nah, I know.
But like, I feel
Does
like
it
you should
feel
kind of be
weird?
like proud of that, though.
I have
right?
lived
Like-
longer than you. That's right. Suck it.
Okay, that is not exactly what I meant, but like it's really cool that you're on YouTube, making videos, and you look like you're having fun making them.
It's like I'm the sweet old man. You're like, oh, it's so nice that you're still around making videos. Look at you.
You're
Yeah.
so cute,
And you're
Ken.
doing fun stuff too. Like, dude, how many more seasons do you think we're gonna get of Tammy and Amy?
Oh,
You
Jesus
think?
Christ. Well, for my channel, I hope plenty, but for their health, I hope none.
I know.
Tammy and Amy.
When are they coming
whoa,
back,
what?
bro?
Fill
When are
me
they
in.
I
coming?
think they're
What
coming
has been
back.
going on?
1,000-pound sisters. Yeah, I think they're getting ready to come back again.
Oh, dude, you guys are assholes. Come
Bro,
on.
it's the most stimulating show on the internet and television, without a doubt. Aside from Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, The Boys.
Oh man, the closest
You
I've
get to
ever
watch
gotten
them
to the
sit.
overweight stuff. See, like the closest I've ever gotten to that is like just Nikocado avocado, dude. I'm just like
jeez.
waiting for the ballooning on that one. You see, like I would make more videos on like Nikocado, but like he doesn't even eat anything interesting, Like I will open up his videos, I'm like, oh, it's just noodles and Takis, like whatever.
man.
Wake me up when he's eating like
Kangaroo.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, wake me up when he goes to the heart attack grill. That's some interesting
He has
shit,
gone twice.
To the heart attack grill?
Yeah.
Did he finish?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Did he finish the food there?
Nope. He got his hiney spanked.
What?
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah, they-
lore expert.
They spank you if you don't eat all your food there. He's getting the spankings.
Well, it's so wild when I see him like eat all the food. Like I remember when he's like, "Hey guys, I lost 5 pounds of weight. Let me just eat 30 fucking like sub sandwiches." And hey, the sub sandwiches have veggies in them, so clearly they're good. I'm like, okay,
He
you
didn't
be the
upload for
boss.
like a month. He
Yeah.
disappeared for a month, and my wife was like, Nick's been gone for a while. You should make a video about it. And I was like, I think I will. And then he showed up like the day before I started recording. I was like, oh, well, he's back.
You were like, my bet was true. I knew the gastrosurgery was happening today. Oh, he's back.
Dang it, nothing's changed.
One day he's going to disappear for a year, and either like, the worst has happened, or he's going to come back with like a full body transformation. Like, I feel like that's
what everybody thought was going to happen. He was gone for a month, but yeah, nothing happened.
Yeah, I mean, like if he's gone for a month, there's no way your body transforming that fast. Like, if you do, Christian Bale will kill you and steal your metabolism. Like that's what'll happen right there.
Not even then, I was expecting him to have lost a lot of weight, but that he wasn't even really. He wasn't trying or anything. He was just took a vacation, I guess.
Dude, it's
to be fair though, it's all water weight. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's all water weight. No, but the
guy
whole
like that'll drop 10 pounds with a trip to the bathroom.
1,000-pound sisters, though, like Jesus Christ, man, the human body can be stretched to the ultimate proportions there.
Have you seen Ken? Do you know? I forget the show that whatever. Do you know Casey King, the Fortnite gamer? I think he weighs 700 pounds in the show, and he was sitting in his bed and he was playing Fortnite, and he was mad at his dad. Yeah, dude. Yeah. You should try to get into contact with him and make a video with him. He's a great dude.
Yeah, he lost all his weight, right?
He lost all his weight. Yeah, he's awesome. He does a bunch of cool shit on Instagram. He makes his own videos. He's a great dude. Yeah, really easy to get in contact with, and it's cool. Like his perspective on all that stuff is so unique and interesting because he was actually in the TLC show.
Oh yeah. I'm sure a lot of you would say about TLC is that it's like they over dramatize it a lot for TV as well.
Yeah. Dude, they would give him a smaller chair, like a comically small chair to make him appear even larger.
Oh yeah, they like put the camera like right in front of the belly so it looks bigger. Yeah, and all that stuff.
Like Lord of the Rings, but fat phobic.
Dude, that's what I love about the Learning Channel. Like, how can you be so morally bankrupt and still walk around with the trademark the Learning Channel?
It's insane.
Like, what are you learning?
A lot of these channels.
Wait.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Dr. Phil is like exactly the same.
I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah, he's like, I help people, but first I hang out all their dirty laundry for 30 minutes on my show, and at the end I go.
No, it's even better. No, it's not just the dirty laundry, Ken. It's like, anyways, guys, before we get into this traumatic family like problem, I got a book, by the way. It's called Life Code. Like, that's what I love about. Like, it's funny because it's like. He'll like paint this perfect picture. It's like, there's my wife Robin in the audience in my book Life Code. Anyways, let's get back to this traumatic family experience. Anyways, your son died? Well, let me tell you, that's really bad. And like, what's
your son dead? Life Code? I don't think so. He wouldn't be dead now.
Dude, this is the thing. Like, if I was Dr. Phil, I couldn't do my job. Like, I'd be laughing all the time because some of the shit is so outlandish. Like, if you had like Bad Barbie on like my fucking show, I'd be like, all right, I don't care. I'm that's why like Maury Povich is the best to me. Like, Maury Povich is morally like destitute.
I love Maury Povich.
At least he knows it,
Yeah,
he breaks out like have you seen the phobia videos where he'll like, what are you scared of, and like
oh my
show
God,
it to him?
Yeah.
Like if you were on the show, he'd be like, here's a dinosaur, and you'd be like, ah,
I love the one with Peaches. Like, he just has Peaches on the video, and like the lady's like clearly like squirming, right? I don't know, clearly, like she's probably an actor, I don't know. And then he's sitting over there with this shit-eating grin. He's like, well, I just sent the PA to the farmer's market today, and guess what I fucking bought? Like, you know how happy he is? Like, he wasn't even like I bet you the morning of that show, that purchase didn't even go to the accounting office. He literally pulled out his wallet that day, gave the PA his own money, and it's like, you know what? This one's on me. This traumatic experience is on me. You go out and get
It's like Logan Paul. It's the same content grind, like that brought Logan Paul to the forest. It's the same grind. It's like every day he's like, all right, how can I like terrify mentally distressed people today for clicks?
Dude, that's my favorite Logan Paul arc, because it's like you got to think about like the logistics, right? Like, so this is why I'm glad like we all have like content creators on this. We understand the work it takes to create content, right? We understand like there's planning, there's filming, and then there's
so hard.
There's the editing process, right? Now, one thing, no matter what creator you are, the editing process is when you get the gurgles in your stomach, right? Especially when you're uploading slightly controversial content. Imagine flying to Japan, filming the dead body, and then you're back home, You're sitting in your edit booth with your editor. You are there. You've got.
And you're like, this is a good idea.
You've got the dead body in like the source section, right? It's like, you really want to put that in? It's like, absolutely, let's go. Everyone's sitting there. Everyone's like, you know what? This is it. And then you upload the video, and this is why the apologies make no sense. It's like,
no, bro. It's the thumbnail that gets me. Okay, whatever. You can give your footage to an editor and let him decide what goes in and what doesn't. Okay, but when you're making the final touches to the thumbnail, and you're like, all right, we need my shocked face here and the corpse right here.
Yeah, they're like, they're like really professional about it. Yeah, crank the saturation to max.
Crank up that saturation. We gotta get the younger audience to click on it.
We want their CPRs up. Dead body's gonna get that going.
Make the sky blue.
They're all just professionals. And then you get the apology video, and the apology video is always, listen, I made a severe lapse. Like if I was Logan Paul, like I'd be a full villain. Like if I was making an apology video, my whole thing would be like, look, if you think I had no fucking idea what I was doing, trust me, I was well lucid in my entire planning. We're telling you, we filmed it. Once I found that dead body, I told my cameraman, we need this shot. This is the moneymaker. The words out of my mouth when I saw the dead body was #1 on trending worldwide. That's the first thought I had.
You go full villain.
Yeah, like the apology's happening, and he's like, "Oh, you got a dog. You adopted a new dog, right? Yeah, I need that for the night. Yeah, I need a cute dog. I need to make sure my mansion's well framed, so at least people know that I'm well loaded. I made good money off of this. Okay, it was not a fruitless endeavor. All right, I got rich off this dead guy. I need people to know that. I need to make sure the dog's there. I got to make sure I sigh."
A lot of you think that it was insensitive of me to put this in the video, but you don't know that I also killed the man.
Oh no! Oh, that's what I just love about Logan Paul. Like that's what I love about the Paul brothers. It's like they got that Maury touch to them, you know. Like they've got that enough moral like bankruptcy that I've come to appreciate, you know.
The assassin was a tax write-off. Don't worry about it.
My business expenses, yes.
Yeah. They were on the dark web. They were like, "Hey guys, I found this red room, dude. Like we can give him some Bitcoin. That's a tax write-off right there, right? Like a little assassin." It's like, no problem. No, but like the whole video is so wild to me. Like the Suicide Forest video will always be that one video where I'm like, there's no way the apology can be accepted. There's no way we can sit there and just say with a straight face, this was not like, you can't tell me when you were uploading that file to YouTube, you did not expect the reaction, you know?
I'm amazed. Like, I think he kind of did embrace the villain arc because people were hating on him forever. You know, like he was... putting raw fish on taxis and all that, and like people were hating on him for everything, for his fake colorblind glasses and all that. So he was like, okay, so whatever, I'll get some hate for this from the commentary people too. I don't think he realized how big it would get. I don't think he realized that there would be like news articles written about him. Yeah. YouTube would suspend his monetization and like actual repercussions.
I feel like for Logan Paul, he was kind of sitting there. It's like, I've been reading this thing on BuzzFeed the other day, how the Chinese are now the world's worst, like, fucking tourists. You know, it used to be like Americans were the worst tourists, and now it's like the Chinese have become the worst tourists in the world. He's like, how can I bring it back home stateside, you know? I can't let those guys keep winning. Let's go to the nicest country in the world, in Asia, and just fucking ruin it. Because, like, it was so wild. Like, his entire vlogs in Japan, like, everyone was so, like, visibly like, oh, this piece of shit again, throwing fish and shit around. He's like that one tourist from a movie. God. I was like, dude, how can you do this?
Yeah, I even imagine, like, in the woods, like, they probably... How long do you think they filmed in that area, like, to get, like, all their reactions and stuff? A dead body? Yeah.
I don't think too much. I think that whole forest is known for... the real question you should be asking is how excited were they on the drive to the forest? Oh. You think he was like sitting in the back of the fucking Jeep? He's like, oh man, dude, you know what would be killer for this video? A dead body. Like, I'm just... Like, yeah, that's exactly how it works. Like, you're the driver, and I'm like, hey, Knox, you know it'd be fucking insane? If somebody actually is hanging off a tree there. Like, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Yeah, we don't even have to pay the CGI artist. We can just literally take it. It's like captured in reality. Like, I have to imagine, like that's kind of how it was. Like, there's no way. Like, the thing about YouTube is like everyone is a different character on and off camera. There's no way that Logan does not have that like dark streak to him off camera. Obviously he does, like clearly.
Yeah.
But I guess when it came to that, like I think it was just one of those things where like he was a daily uploader at the time. And the problem is with like the daily uploading thing, especially for like people who are doing those insane vlogs, is how do we just keep one-upping it, right?
Yeah.
So it was like, that's it. That for him, it was like literally a case of he one-upped too far at the time. And that's what cost him everything on YouTube. And it's insane because it's like, it literally took like the mainstream backlash for even YouTube to go, yeah, it's really fucked up. Let's suspend them.
It was trending. I remember when it was trending. Like I saw it trending and I flipped out.
Well, that just means like the guy they hired out at YouTube, the server farm in Bangladesh, was like, oh yeah, this video is kind of popping shit. Let's throw that up onto #1 trending worldwide. Let's go. It's not like, come on now. That doesn't necessarily mean YouTube. Like, I think the thing about it is with like YouTube is just they it's so weird how hands off it is until like just one article gets made. You know, like one tiny article gets made and YouTube's like, oh fuck, get rid of it. Like, remove it. Like they used to let JStation on the platform forever until he eventually like started fucking, you know, faking debts and shit. And YouTube was like, oh yeah, maybe that's not good to have on the platform. Maybe we should like call that back. So, you know, it's a weird hands off thing until like, you know, the shit hits the fan and then we all get fucked for it. Because that's just how like the whole YouTube system works, you know, like fucking, if anybody understands like the yellow dollar sign, that's more common than you would expect, and age restrictions way more common than you would expect.
Age restrictions are insane.
Podcasts get age restricted all the time. It's so annoying. I think half our uploads now are age restricted.
Oh,
like,
sounds tough.
Crazy.
I don't get very many.
Yeah,
of those.
I don't know what we do. I don't know what we do. Like, well, like I wouldn't say the age restriction. It's just like anytime you make like darker related content on YouTube nowadays, it's just you're.
We talked about Logan Paul.
I don't think Logan Paul
video's
is a
getting
family.
zoinked.
No, Logan Paul is a nice character now. He's on WWE.
But the S word forest though.
Oh yeah, that's true.
All right,
Whoa.
them just...
Yeah, God damn. It's so weird how you can't talk about. It's so weird how you can't talk about things like that even on YouTube, right? It's like, it's just it's so wild how like when I go on YouTube, right, and I look up like some really dark stuff on the internet, like things I want to talk about, like conspiracy theories, like wild, like really like dark rabbit, and like Vice News gets to cover it. Like they get like the Picture Perfect Pass to jump in and like cover like really dark stuff. And then, like, when we try doing the same thing, okay, you get an age restriction, demonetized, algorithm throws you out. I'm like, so why is it that we can't do it, but all of a sudden Vice is allowed to talk about, like, cartels and, like, you know, serial killers and cannibals? Like, what? Like, the news organizations are...
The side YouTube thing was, it was partially successful, I guess, but
yeah,
not really. Like, at the end of the day,
yeah,
YouTubers do not get the same, you know, journalistic freedom that...
No, you can't cover like darker content in general just because unless you're comfortable with like YouTube completely stifling any of that content's growth, which is sad because it's
also when you see people talking about it, it's like P-word SA.
I fucking hate that. I hate the code word shit. I hate the code word shit. Like when we're talking about especially serious things, you know, it's like. I know why you have to do it, but it makes your content sound like it's out of the Fisher-Price network. Like, get the out of here.
Every serious topic sounds like Ben Shapiro talking about wet ass.
Yeah, they're like exactly like they're like, hey guys, there's some PDF files around. I'm like, oh dude, shut the fuck, get out, stop it. Like, use the actual term for crying out loud. I don't know. That's why like if I ever cover like a darker thing, like I remember this was like the EDP situation again. I was like, I'm just gonna call a spade. You know, I'm just gonna say it like it is. I'm not gonna use that Twitter. Yeah, I'm not going to use the Twitter minor attracted persons crap. I'm just going to straight up say what these people are. But it's weird, dude. Like, we live in a world where even that's a debatable topic on Twitter. Like, I've seen Twitter debates about that kind of shit, and I'm like, I don't know how long I can be on the internet if that's suddenly up for debate, you know? Like, I come from a era of the internet where it's like, oh, you're that kind of person? Yeah, jail time for you. But now everyone's like, well, maybe they're just born differently. I'm like, I don't know.
On the
internet.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean. On the topic of like the YouTube, like the yellow dollar sign and you know them being weirdly harsh and like age restricting on things. Like it's all like after the adpocalypse, they want to like clean everything up, and when they start messing with your money, then that kind of forces some more career minded YouTubers to act right. You know. And it worked on me. Like now my brand is like wholesome CinnamonToastKen family man. And it wasn't always like that. Like I'd go play like hentai games and shit like that all the time. But now ever since I'll got, you know, I'm in line with like what they want. Like my CPM is the highest it's ever been. Like, you know, it's the channel is performing amazingly. And I'm like, oh, that feels good. I'll just keep doing this. I hate reality TV. Reality TV's
you can't say that, dude. Reality TV. I hate it, dude. Dude. How can you hate reality television? It's literally moral degeneracy at its
Maybe that's
finest.
what makes it better is I hate it so much. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
See, like,
that's why I like it.
I'm like, you know, I don't know these people and they're not hurting anyone, blah, blah, blah. Now they're weird.
That's why I love shit like Jerry Springer and like really degenerate stuff. You know, like I used to be one of those people, like I used to work long hours and I came home like fucking 10 o'clock at night, you know, like my job would literally be like, I wake up at fucking 9 and I come home at 9. So it's like full day's work. So when I came home, the only TV I had was Cops and like reality TV shit reruns. So it was like, all right, I guess I'm gonna watch a domestic like fucking played out by like Cops or whatever. Like the stupidest like fucking like it would, at least in my defense, it was the best Cops because it would always be like Cops in Florida or like Arizona. You know, no matter what, those two states are gonna have the best episodes. Like if you're on the TV guide and it says fucking, you know, Cops, you know, Tampa Bay, oh, you're tuning in for that episode because holy shit, everyone's a character.
Oh, that's
then it would be like Jerry.
That's another thing with like talking about the Cops. Like if you make reaction to like any police content, you always get limited ads on that. It's like in the description, like with the police or people getting arrested or anything legal. It's like, nope, no ads for you. Why?
Yeah, well, one of my favorite like channels, like I follow a fair amount of police channels, like Donut Operator and stuff like that, and it's just like, dude, for him, it's like YouTube gives him like maybe 2 cents every year. It's like good luck doing anything because he makes a lot of like the police breakdown content, and that's obviously a bit more like than Cops, right? Like fucking
shooting breakdowns.
Like shooting breakdown. Like when he uploads a shooting breakdown, I'm like, oh, I understand why it's getting age restricted because I mean, he'll blur out some guy getting shot, but you very much know that some guy got like shot right there.
A
on
Leo
camera.
recap.
Yeah, like it's very much like if your parents have like, you know, Live Leak or some fucking, you know, like snuff website TikTok blocked out of your like family friendly filter, Donut's where you're getting your like, you know, law enforcement shit. But that completely gets demonetized. But you're right, like if like there was this one Cops episode, and I don't know if you guys remembered, it was like this one Indian guy that got busted in California, and he was very evidently high on meth. Like he was very, very clearly high on meth. And like the cops pull him over and he's like, no, I'm just waiting for my friend Raj. And then like he pulls out the crack pipe. I did not know how that got there, officer. And then like he gets out like a ball of meth. No, I don't know what that is. And then they make him do like a sobriety test, and they're like, I just checked your heart rate. You're like triple where you should be. I had a Monster Energy. Maybe that could have done something. And then the cop brings out his cell phone, and it's like, you texted a woman named Jessica. You said $220 for an hour. Let's have some fun. You've got snow. And he's like, I don't know how that got there, officer. Who's that? Like, he was so happy. And then at the end of it, he's like, well, look, I could tell you, I'm telling you the truth. I mean, what, do you want me to lie? And the cops were just like, no, not that whatsoever. And it was so evident. This is some serious. I'm like, no, you can't say this is serious. This is not a shooting breakdown. This is a crackhead. All right. This is a crackhead moment on Cops. But that's what I like to watch on reality. Like, I obviously, like, when the meta was like, what was it, like a 60-Day Fiancé? I watched that shit for like, dude, I watched that for like 1-2 episodes, and I'm like, I can't, like, all these people are just, I was like, I can't, like.
Oh, yeah. I had to make so many Big Ed episodes. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, dude. Big Ed was so, like, who
Big Ed?
We need to get him on the podcast.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, we should get him on the podcast.
No, don't give him more
that's
attention.
The one thing. Like, I don't know shit about Big Ed. I don't know shit about Big Ed. So you guys are gonna have to like
so weird.
Big Ed.
I don't know. I paid him on Cameo.
Oh, well, fill me in on Big Ed. I don't know Big Ed. You guys are experts.
He was weird. He's this dude. He has no chin. And he's round.
Okay.
He's short.
What?
And he puts mayo in his hair.
Wait.
And he,
what? Okay, hold on. Wait. You can't just say he puts mayo.
and he's dating this girl from Colombia, was it?
Mm-hmm.
90 Day Fiance or whatever. And
Oh,
he
yeah.
treats her like trash,
I think
and that's
Cambodia.
why she doesn't love him.
The Cambodian girl does not love
think
Ed
it's
who puts
Southeast
nail
Asia.
in his hair.
But
Color me fucking shocked.
I was very surprised.
He's a handsome guy.
He walked up to her and said to her, "Can we have sex now?" And she said, "No."
Wait, he literally just went up and asked that, like straight up. It's like, can we have sex?
Yes.
You
I
got
would say he turned his head, but he can't.
You kind of got to respect a man for
there's
that.
two arcs
brutal
too,
honesty.
right? There's two different love interests, right, Ken?
There's 3.
3. It was Rose, and then who else?
Rose is the original one. Then he's engaged to one of them. I forget her name now, but he treated her like straight trash. There's even like leaked phone calls of him just like dogging her the whole time. And
What?
Now they're engaged. Liz, I think her name is. Is that right? But then in between that, there was like he went to Mexico to like go on vacation, but they filmed him trying to date her for like 2 weeks, and it was
Cringe.
they got shot at one point.
What?
Nice.
And like the cartel apparently was shooting somebody else, but they were like, "Oh my god, they were shooting at us! It was crazy." Like, okay,
Oh yeah, right.
Has a cartel lawyer
Anyway,
sued for
yeah.
slander? Because that's straight up defamation. They were not getting shot at by the cartel. The
Oh,
cartel
excuse
was the cartel was engaged in a real estate dispute with another business organization. Also,
That's right,
YouTube,
that-
all cartels are bad. Drug trafficking organizations are all bad.
So it's human trafficking. So watch out, Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I got to defend Andrew Tate. Okay, not because I'm a fan. That's not been proven though, right?
Allegedly, right?
Yeah, that's what you guys say. Alleged, dude. Everyone's been like, so I've been like killing myself with this Andrew Tate video for a while. Okay, by the way, self harm is bad, but I've been like ruining myself with this Andrew Tate video because I just keep looking up Andrew Tate stuff, and so like I have this like conspiracy web at this point where I'm like looking at all the channels that upload Tate content, and it's like 90 channels just out of nowhere. Like they spread like cancer. It's just like Tate wisdom, like Tate discovery, like fucking that's all it is. And so like I'm looking at all these like Tate clips, and I'm looking at everything over here, and every person that comments on him is like, so he's like a human trafficker, right? Because he moved to like Romania or something. And I'm literally at a point where I'm calling up like Romanian police. Okay, I'm like calling up like Europol and shit. I'm like, wait a minute, can I get like confirmation? Like, is there like actually like arrest warrants out for this person? Like, what the fuck's going on? So his story is so weird because like for me, I came across at least 3 clips of Tate just sitting over there like constantly talking about like, hey, you know why I moved to Romania? Because I can access the corruption easier and shit like that. Or like, hey, I can like. Literally, there were like 2 streamers talking to him, and it's like, Tate, have you ever killed somebody? And he's like, I mean, if paying somebody to do the job for me, I'm like, dude, why the fuck would you be saying that? Like, if you had actual criminal,
he's trying to look badass.
yeah, but
he's full of shit.
Yeah, like he's trying to look badass, but I'm like, that's what proves to me it's like you're trying to like appeal to like literal like 12-year-olds because only they'll find that badass. Like if you were actually part of a criminal operation, like I have to imagine if I was part of the mob and I came home to my like mob house and everything, and like I was like, how's our front man money launderer Tate doing? And I opened up one of his streams and he's like,
Yeah.
This dumb, like I'd be like, this dumb motherfucker is talking about us whacking people for him. Like he'd be out of the game. He'd be like fucking floating down a river. So it's so wild dealing with him and all the criminal related stuff.
And you hear people say, I saw him talk about how people want to know if I'm Mafia. Well, I wouldn't define myself as Mafia, but then again, it's like I do participate in organized crime, and so I don't know. Like, am I Mafia?
I'm like, I sit over there and I'm like, damn, dude, this guy it's such a weird like scenario. It's like he literally spawned in on the face of the earth as like the Eric Cartman. Like it's literally like the GTA Online villain, like a GTA Online character just spawned into like our reality. Like he just respawned in here. All right, he was supposed to wake up in Los Santos driving around doing another fucking thing, but instead he woke up in this reality and he's like, whatever, I guess I'm just gonna spread my wisdom to the world. And that's it. Like but like there's some clips of him that are so hilarious. Like he's like sitting over there like, so dehydration happens because you're not drinking enough water.
I saw that, dude.
Dehydration happens because you're not drinking enough water. So what I do is I drink a whole bottle. a whole bottle of water. And then I'm not dehydrated anymore. I'm like...
And you know why I was thirsty? Because I was
dehydrated. I'm like, dude.
And everyone's like, see, he does know what he's talking about. It's
red pilled.
Yeah, based red. He's not dying from lack of water. Not Tate there. I'm like,
the guy is
Your
based.
Tate fans that like if you diss him, it's like, so you don't think dehydration is really?
Oh, I love how like the first response is like, what color is your Bugatti? Like that's the first thing I hear. And then I open up the Twitter. I open up the Twitter account that asks me, it's like, oh, you're talking about a Bugatti. And then I look at this guy and it's just like the quintessential dude that buys the $20 course to join him. That's the thing. Like it's so weird when I look up his
$50 course.
Yeah, sorry, Hustler University 2.0. Sorry, you're right. It's a $40-$50 course.
Go join their Discord.
Well, it's so wild when
Discord.
it's so wild. So I watched a debate. I think it was between Hassan and him, and the only point that like Hassan like I tuned in for was like where Hassan was like, "Oh, so can you talk about affiliate marketing?" And he like shuts down. He's like, "Look, I'm not going to talk about the course. If you want to pay $50 and figure it out, you can." And I'm like, oh fuck. I think he kind of got you on that one. Shit. Affiliate marketing, pyramids. Oh Christ. No, I feel like if you're listen, and this is a harsh thing to say. If you're in the audience and you've ever paid $50 for a course like that to learn how to pick up women or get rich, I'm going to be honest, you're not going to get either of those things at all, like whatsoever. Like it's a very harsh red-pilled reality. You're not getting any of that shit. Like if you're paying for Hustlers University or any of these like courses, like he has a war room, like you're paying $4,000 to be part of like the elite war room. And I'm like, dude, that's just Hustlers University on like an even like dumber scale. So you're finding actual rich.
Have you ever heard him describe the war room? Like he describes it like it's the Illuminati.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All the rich world leaders come together that are really pulling the strings, and if you can't like give something good, they kick you out immediately. So you're constantly fighting with other males to get to the top. There are no women there because the women in the war room, they're bargaining chips.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you saying?
Well, like, I sit over there, I'm like, wait a minute, so you got a whole war room of the Illuminati, yet you're still living in Romania because I guess you don't have enough pull in the United States to run away from all those charges. Like, I watched this one clip of, like, him, like, 40% of the reason I moved to Romania is because sex allegations are a lot easier to avoid. I'm like, you know, when I'm moving to other parts of the world, that's like 0% for me, you know? Like, I want to move down to Texas, but I'm not sitting here telling you guys, 40% of the reason I'm going to Texas is because a lot of these allegations are just a lot easier to get away from in the States. Let me just say it right now. Canada.
That's why I came down.
Yeah, it's like it's so wild. Like it's his whole like life story is like insane. Like witnessing. Like I found it so outlandish when I went to the I keep saying Hamburger University because I have like McDonald's in my head, but like Hustlers University 2.0.
Hamburger University is way better.
Like I go to the Hustlers University page, right? And it's like him and his brother. It's such a weird photo. Like it's like literally the GTA Online like screenshot.
It is
two supercars. Like I vividly Bugatti, Lamborghini, Vista of like Romania.
Bugatti.
And him and his brother, the brother Tristan Tate, is standing there with a fucking machete in his hand. I'm like, why?
Like a cartoon character.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Oh my god! Listen, you guys are making fun, but 5 years from now, a new billionaire is going to pop up and be like, "Yeah, I went to Hustler University 2.0, taught me everything I know. You know, out here hustling."
No, but he created Hustler University 3.0, the superior affiliate marketing.
You know who's been doing the pickup, getting the women game for way longer than Andrew Tate? Vince Kelvin, makeout artist. Do you guys know who that is?
I know
Jesus
you know
Christ.
who that is.
I think I do actually.
Hang on.
Vince Kelvin, expert makeout artist. I signed up for one of his courses. He called me. He called me on my cell phone. He called me, bro. Like I was streaming when he did it, and I answered the phone. And it was him, and I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" I just got to talk to the guy. I felt so bad. I muted my mic and I was like, "Hey man, sorry about that. I think you got the wrong number."
Oh my god!
Yeah. He just goes up to women on the street and just starts making out with them. Makeout, an expert makeout artist. Makeout.
Do you see?
So good at making out.
So for him moving to Romania, so moving to Romania is like a 90% reason, then, right?
He might be Romanian, to be honest.
Wow.
I forgot all about that dude until just now. Thank you.
It's so wild. It's like,
Seductioncoaching.com.
you wonder why Epstein never bought an island near there, right? Like, shit, it must have been a lot easier for him to get away. Christ. No, but it's so, dude. So it's like my thing with like Andrew Tate, and this comes across as super like traditional, and I've said this on stream. It's like when you look up like how the dude got rich, right? And again, I really hate putting like judgments on things, but it's like the dude's basically a pimp, right? Like I said this to like people, I'm like, I can't respect a man that's just out there like pimping out his girlfriends and things like that and all that bullshit. And that's how you make your money, right? Like there's a million ways to make money. I just couldn't respect that. And there's so many like fucking people that follow him, and it's like, well, I guess you're just not a hustler. I'm like, no, it's not that I'm not a hustler. Trust me, I'm doing just fine. I'm just saying, like, this is where, like, my belief set lies. It's so weird how, like, a lot of these kids look up to him, because it's, I have it even in my family, too, right? Like, my aunt's kids who are, like, they've started to fall into the Tate rabbit hole as well, too, unfortunately. And trying to get them out of it is kind of tough, because it's, like, it's hard, because his content is so accessible by everyone. It's on TikTok, it's on YouTube Shorts, it's everywhere. And, like, once you get into it, you're into it. And, like, you can see that their mentality towards, like, growing up and like, you know, doing things the right way, it's all getting skewed for them, right? Like these are kids who now want to get rich fast and live extravagant lifestyles and have like Rolexes and Bugattis, and I'm just like, I'm like, kids, all right, you guys are getting tainted right now. You guys are getting fucking ruined. Like what's going on here? And
by the way,
yeah.
Speaking of your aunt's kids, I actually read the comments on the podcast. I know, really crazy. I'm the only YouTuber that still does that, apparently.
Oh, I read comments.
They keep mentioning, why do you call them your aunt's kids and not your cousins?
So the reason I call them that is like there's a really big generational difference. So my aunt is 35 years old. So she's like 6-7 years older than me. My aunt at this point, for me, is like an older sister. Like that's pretty much how the family like has been, right? Like she's the only like you know aunt that I've had, or like aunt or uncle in general that's just considered an older brother, because we're so close in age, right? Like my grandmother had her when like obviously way later in her fucking marriage, so that's just how it is. So now when her kids, the way that like, you know, my relationship to them are kind of like nephews to me, and that's just how it's always been. Like it's never like they don't even call me like bro, really. It's just more like an uncle thing going on, because it's just once you have that like age gap, you know, it's that I think that's what really changes it, you know. So that's, I agree with that. Pretty much why I go with.
That makes sense. Sense.
Because like we don't really have like a lot of.
To bring it up. It is
like yeah, no, and like I have like anybody that I call my actual cousin is very like close to me in age, so it's like our relationship is clearly different, right? Like we're fucking shooting the shit like normal people, you know, but like with like for instance, like I could smoke a cigarette with like, you know, my cousins, right? Like I could smoke like a joint or something. I couldn't ever
not with your aunts.
I wouldn't even let them know that I smoked a joint or like, you know, had a drink or any of that nature. Like I'm totally like fucking straight arrow for them, you know? Like, I'm like, follow all the rules, everything, you know, don't do anything wacky or any of that bullshit. So that's pretty much how it is to them. And I try to do that because
kids on the internet, Ken, do you have problems with that? Like, do you keep your kids away from like certain facets of the online world, or?
I mean, they're like the oldest one's like 5, so they don't really have a concept of like understanding anything other than like Minecraft, right?
Yeah. Would you keep them away from the internet? Like, what do you think's the right age for?
Well, I mean, you got to really. You can't give your kids free reign because they'll accidentally find something that'll scar them for life. So
yeah, then they'll end up like us 3 degenerates, and you don't want that.
Jesus Christ, please no.
Yeah. It's like I think about it too, right? Like I'll be like, for me when I was a kid, like I probably came across like really fucked up shit on the internet when I was like 9 years old, 8, not that age period is when like, you know, we went onto the internet, we like searched stuff and, you know, Google and all the search platforms gave us some fucked up shit. And that's when I saw some really wild stuff. One of the most fucked up things I ever saw was around the age of 11. And so like, this is when like sites like LiveLeak were called Ogrish, right? So fucking, there were like family members that had like snuff videos downloaded on their phones, like literal snuff, like journalists' heads getting cut off by like cartels.
Oh my god.
And so like as a kid, right, like I got access to their phones and like they would let me play video games. And as a kid, you pressing random buttons all the time. So on their Nokia phones, I went to the gallery by mistake, and I opened up this one video file. And so it's a small phone, right? Like you can't tell by resolution. And the thing that really scarred me was like, it was this one dude who was like kneeled over a bed, and you couldn't tell anything from it. And then it just cuts to his head, like the dude's like holding his head, like that shit. So I'm like, as somebody that's like the age of 10, like that's the first time I ever saw something so fucked up. All right. That like, that's when I got like totally scarred. And so now that scares me. It's like when you got like kids now, and like if I ever one day have kids, I'm like, dude, I'm keeping the internet on like a fucking lock and key.
Because I had a kind of a similar thing actually. It was like in my teens, but it's like really early YouTube. The video was called "Fucked Up Shit," and it was just stuff like that. It was just like a dude like a police commissioner or something, like getting a gun for like a anniversary or something, or like his birthday, and he like pretends to shoot himself, and there's a bullet in it, and he does. And,
oh my god! Yeah. That was on YouTube.
Yeah, it was on. There was like a dude doing a magic trick, and he had like a chainsaw, and he like cuts his wife, and she's like actually dies from it.
Oh my god!
Yeah, all the stuff like that, and I was like, "Oh, why am I watching this?" And that
it wasn't clickbait though.
That kept me up.
Yeah, it wasn't clickbait. Yeah, exactly.
Ran across that by accident. So yeah, stuff like that for sure. I mean,
but like this is. It's wild because think about it. Like back then, it was almost not even as accessible as it was nowadays, right? Like I'm talking about looking through a Nokia cell phone with like a 3GP file on it, like some fucking low resolution like snuff video. But nowadays, like with how algorithms and searches work, and like fucking, I'm telling, like we're not joking. When I'm on like cartel TikTok, like cartel TikTok is as fucked up. Like this is where like cars down the road like fast. They got their M4s. Yeah, cartel, with TikTok, you're like scrolling up. So it's like, one clip is just these guys driving down, showcasing their assault rifles in their cars, right? Like they're fucking ready to go. And the other one is like, they're just executing a guy, like fucking, here it is, boom, boom, gone. Like it's fucked up. It's to a point, but it's like, it's so easily accessible. Like back then we didn't have fucking shit for algorithms. Back then it was like, oh, you Google something, you got the best of, and that's it. But nowadays it's like, you watch it once and you watch it long enough. Oh, they're going to peddle that to keep you addicted. Yeah. They'll peddle that so you get addicted to it more and more. And these are things that are like, they feed into morbid curiosity for, I think, most human beings, right? Like it's like you said, when you watch fucked up shit, you're like, why am I watching it? Well, why were you? It's because you were a little morbidly curious. Yeah. It's one of those things. It's like kids nowadays, it's like, I'm not even so much worried about like all the weird shady people on Minecraft and Roblox, because we have parental filters for all that stuff. And generally, if you're a parent, you should probably watch what online network game your kids play, as a fucking normal parent should. But when it comes to all these fucked up things on the internet, I think at some point, like kids are just going to get scarred way earlier in life. That's why, like, if I'm a parent, like I'm keeping the internet off, like, at least social media stuff off till like, when you're like when you're like an actual teen, right? Like when you're of age, because I think to like, exactly, I'm like 11 years old and I saw like a snuff video. I'm like, fuck me. That really did. That sticks with me to this day. Like I can vividly remember every pixel of that footage. And I'm like, dude, I don't want like any kid that I have to like, yeah, all 6 pixels on it. Like it literally looked like Minecraft. You're right. Like the dude's like on the bed is like getting his fucking head cut off. I'm like, I can't really figure it out. Oh no, I know now. Okay, yeah, his head's gone. Yeah, it's a different character. Okay, dude got removed.
Being a content creator, we also no longer really share our kids very much anymore. Like I did do like vlogs, like a new kid birthday, and you kind of like your life becomes a content thing. But people are just weird.
Yeah.
People are just really weird, and it bothers my wife a whole lot. Mm-hmm. Aside from like the unsolicited advice of kids, but just like, yeah, some people were just kind of getting creepy.
Really?
And we're like, okay, yeah, we're not going to keep this window open for you freaking weirdos out there anymore. You can just, yeah.
That's the thing with the family channels, man. Like fucking, like we were laughing at like the period prank shit, but it's like, if you ever like, there's a reason why back in 2019 YouTube removed comments from like anything kid oriented, because you're right, those creeps would go in there, and the worst it ever got was when they were when they were sharing your kids' videos or like any kids' videos on like Telegram and like all these like off platform sites and just talking about it there. Because at least with the YouTube comments, you're like, oh, I know you're a creep, but then you don't know what the fuck they're doing about it behind the scenes, right? Like it's is like an iceberg. You only see 10% of the creep discussion on YouTube, and the other 90% is happening off in like DMs or like forum posts somewhere else. So keeping kids off of the internet, it's the smartest thing ever. And I think you're in a position where like it's good that you're a personality, like people come for you, not your family, you know, like to live vicariously. So you can do that. But family channels, they can't. Like family channels, it's like fucking pump out a baby and fucking
that's the content. You got to like, oh, we got to have another kid. The views are dipping down. What do we do?
Yeah, like oh, you're pregnant? Oh, yeah, 9 months of content. Like that's what it is with a family channel. But yeah, go on. Sorry,
I was thinking back to like that when you guys talking about Andrew Tate stuff, and like I wonder, like, because this Hustle University thing is actually successful. Is there just, it's not a new thing, but like, I guess people wanting to buy success or buy like just give money and then have the knowledge to like go get girls, and it made me think of like on Twitter, like you were talking, like people were asking you about their avatars and having to spend $10,000 to be successful.
Yeah,
and I was like,
that was a weird debate.
I was like, well, how is you can spend like $50,000 on your avatar and you can still suck ass? What does it matter? You know, like it's not how much you pay, it's what you do as a person, I guess.
Well, the thing with YouTube, it's like
media is weird. You need to have a good personality. You need to be entertaining, and I think you need to at least portray a decent person. You know, and
that's what I do.
My thing is with my content. I just like. I whatever topic piques me, I just make a video on that. Like today I made a video about emoji malware. Like nobody fucking gives a shit about that. But I'm like, oh, I thought it was cool to infect somebody through an emoji only system. My rule for YouTube content is like, I'm not going to overspend on some crazy studio setup. What I will spend money on is the bong, right? Like, hey, every time you see a cut in my video, I've always said this. I bring up the bong and I like fucking light up a fat, like, I do a fat rip and I move on to the next thing in the video. That's what I have to do. All right, that's how I get it going. That's the fuel for the content, and that's pretty much what it is. It's like I remember when you did tweet about that next. I'm like, it doesn't matter if you have like a fucking 40-cent PNG. I don't give a fuck. Like overspending on your production doesn't make it better. I'm there for the personality more than I am like your. If I wanted to see production quality, I'll watch TV. Like. You're never going to beat that.
That was the first tweet I tweeted with the word VTuber in it in the last 6 months that didn't get me canceled.
God damn.
It was a good day. Woo.
Well, I'm glad out of all the people in this room, has not gotten canceled yet. Thank Lord for that one. No, I haven't gotten canceled. I don't know. I don't think I have gotten canceled over anything. No, what have I done that's going to be cancelable, all right? Like fucking...
What have I done that's going to be cancelable?
I don't know, man. You got to ask those VTuber organizations. Actually, I don't think Oompaville's ever gotten canceled either.
I've been canceled a few times. I got canceled again on TikTok this morning.
Oh. What? Over what? Whole time?
We do this weekly series where we just look at cringe stuff, like really cringy videos and stuff that people send to us. Mm-hmm. And one of them was a person that was cosplaying as an anime character. And as I always say, one man's cosplay is another man's cringe, right? Mm-hmm. And we all had a abhorrent reaction to this cosplay, okay? Because it was really good. But I'm not a huge anime guy, and it was just very like the whole. It was over the top cringy, right?
Yeah. Nice shirt, Caleb.
Yeah. You like my shirt?
Very progressive of you.
Anyways, so I did that, and then I have a guy that helps make thumbnails, and he was like, here's 3 that we can do, and I was like, do this one, use this, and we used that person with the anime, and turns out they're 14 years old, all right, and it's not like revealing or anything like that, but it's a video that that went super viral, and they got a bunch of trouble, or they got a bunch of hate from it, and then I like plastered it on my video, and they made a video being like, I just escaped it. And this is a gross over dramatization of what they actually did. I just escaped this horrible thing, and now one of my favorite YouTubers is re-engaging it and attacking me again. And then all of their people were like commenting on me, and they had a very humorous response. Like it wasn't them crying at all, but it was like very obviously I made them feel bad. So I apologized to me. Like I didn't DM them. I commented, and I was like, yo. Well, first thing I did was respond to it in a funny way because it was like funny, I thought. But then,
God.
but then,
That's the worst thing.
but it was though. It was, and they thought that my response was funny. It was genuinely like I thought it was gonna be funny, and then I was like, oh wait, you're getting death threats. Oh, sorry.
He's got a smile on. He's like, oh, you're getting death threats.
Whoops. I didn't know that. I'll private the video right now. I'll change the thumbnail. We'll cut the part out. No problems. My goal is not to make people feel upset in any way.
Yeah.
So, it was good though. It was a really good interaction. It's a good person, and their cosplay is genuinely very good. It's just like I said, one man's cosplay is another man's fucking cringe. So,
I love how in the same breath you went from like, oh, it's a great cosplay, but still fucking cringe.
well, yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, I just subjectively, I don't watch. I think a lot of shows are cringe. People love them. So, some people don't like my Charlie the Chimp. I got $180.
Oh, cringe, bro.
Well, Nux, how are you going to take us out of this after we've now known that Caleb is an insensitive...
I'm an insensitive incel.
That's the funniest thing I ever heard in my life. Like, he
really
didn't
is.
realize that the person that offended was actually offended.
It's like PewDiePie when the deaf girl got mad and he's just like, oh, wait, let me respond to her in sign language.
Dude, well, the video that they made was very, like, funny. It was like a funny, like, oh, shit, not again type thing. And then I read the comments and I was like, oh.
You know, Walt Jr. for Breaking Bad. Like, I'm like, and then he was making funny faces the whole time. So I
Yeah.
Oh.
It wasn't quite that insensitive, but.
Okay.
Well, thanks you for
anyway,
coming on. Yeah.
Thank you, Ken, so much for joining.
Oh yeah, yeah. I feel bad. I felt like I didn't add enough for being here,
No,
but I
you
still
did.
enjoyed it.
These things are more about hanging out with the boys, and Ken,
We're
you
just
are
chilling.
one of the boys.
Yay!
Absolutely. I'm glad that like honestly talking to you, it wasn't like a PG conversation. You know what I mean? Like I know you're more like a family oriented, brand friendly kind of person, but it's like
Oh, yeah. Well, like I
sometimes-
said, that's for YouTube. You know, it's all good.
sometimes when people come on here, it's like sometimes like you'll talk to some other YouTuber and it's like they're trying to do like the PR thing to you, and it's like I know what you're like. I know. Come on, you can't do the PR speak as soon as the recording starts. Like, come on now, let's be real for a minute. And I really do appreciate that. We had some good conversation. We talked about like phobias of dinosaurs. Which Caleb, we're gonna fly out to Mexico and we're gonna get rid of that fucking phobia for sure. We're also gonna find Bigfoot. Like that's gonna happen.
I'm down.
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna find. We might even fake it. Who knows? Like Logan Paul's out there in like Aokigahara Forest. We'll be in the. We'll find Bigfoot for real.
I'll call up Peter Kane and we can find that motherfucker.
Think so?
Go make out with it.
Peter Kane, dog
Alright.
trainer.
Call the other guy.
Let's go. But yeah, no, thanks for showing up, Ken. And if you want to plug in anything going on forward, any socials, let us know.
CinnamonToastKen, check it out. You know,
Perfect.
that's it. That's
Simple.
all it is.
Sweet and simple.
Well, Nux, give us a classic outro like you normally
Thank you
do.
all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you liked it. Dislike if you dislike it. We won't see it anyway.
Oh man, that's great.